This is the second prologue session of The Shadow of the Fae, and in this session we will be introducing Rory and Dobar. Right, so we're going to start with Rory on this, and the current date is the 3rd of Ancestors, which is the year before, 1171. And the day is Day of Julius, if you're interested. We're starting in... Yeah, Day of Julius. We're starting in the city of Al-Kahan, which was formerly Green Hills. This borders it was on the border of the seat of Seat. I'm pretty sure it was Seat. I just need to check that on the world map. Yeah, Seat. So it was been the subject of border disputes for many, many years, and about 20-something years ago. How old is Rory?
Well, good question. Let me have a look. He's quite young.
He's quite young.
Yeah. He is 25.
25. So yeah, around about 20 years ago, the town was finally overrun by the Empire of Seat, which is home to all the catfolk, like Leonin and other cat-type races that you might come across. There are a few. They quickly moved into the town. There was a lot of needless casualties. This is a bit of ancient history for you. They renamed it to something more appropriate to their empire from Green Hills, but some of the original residents that are still there remember it as Green Hills and keep calling it Green Hills in defiance of the new overlords. We are going to start sort of zoom into the city, into the temple. There's a temple right in the centre, and it's the Temple of Ithas. And at this point, I'm going to ask Rick or Rory, start calling you by your character names now, to describe the temple.
Okay. The Temple of Ithas is made out of limestone, primarily. It has a classical Greek kind of look to it, with the pillars all around a central lane, and it's a temple that lets the air flow in. So it's mainly a stone covering with pillars, and you can walk in. And inside, though, is a limestone box with a door, and inside is the Shrine of Ithas. And in the Shrine of Ithas there are loads of votive offerings of people pleading for intercession with the gods, and there are little figures of people representing them, and each one has a candle that's burning down by it. And in the center is a gold leaf statue of Ithas. He's a very human-looking god. He's the most human-looking of the gods, because he's a demigod, or he was a demigod. So he was once human, and he has become divine through his sufferings. And so people come to the shrine when they are in need of having their suffering taken away from them, and often people leave with their burdens lifted.
So it's quite a peaceful place in the centre of this town. It's now a city. It was a town. A lot of people still treat it as such. The temple, as you describe it, would stand out a little bit now amongst all the more modern architecture from the Setans, which is more like ancient Egyptian style. So it stands out as a bastion amongst all the new buildings that have been put up around. Inside the temple, we find Rory. What's Rory doing right now?
I had visions of Rory. He's taking care of the place. He is sweeping with a handmade broom that he threw together, and he's sweeping, keeping it clean, making sure the candles are replaced, lighting things. He's very much a man of service, a servant, and he is taking care of people as well as they pray and things that a lowly priest would do.
So, whilst you're there and you're taking care of the temple, would you like to describe how Rory looks?
Sure. He's not wearing his armor right now. He's wearing more of a toga, but it's like a deep red toga, which is the color of the priesthood of Ithas. And he is clean shaven over his entire body, including his head. He would be able to grow hair if it weren't against his faith. So, as a symbol of penance, they all keep their heads and bodies clean shaven, and they anoint themselves with beeswax and herbs, so they smell quite pleasant, like mint.
Like mint and beeswax. It's
mint and beeswax, yeah.
It's certainly a contrast to the rest of the townsfolk, who, in this rather warm climate, normally smell of hard work, shall we say, putting it politely. But as you're there, you're sweeping up, one of the temple initiates comes walking across the main room towards you. He stops just to the side of you, hoping to gain your attention without interrupting your work. Doesn't say anything.
Rory sweeps a bit more, and then he notices the guy standing next to him, and he goes, "Yes, of course." And he puts his arm around him, and they walk to the side, and Rory asks him, "What is it you need of me, brother?"
The High Priest is looking for you. I was sent to find you, but he said not to interrupt your work.
I finished the main work. I'm just keeping myself busy, really. I could go right now. Do you mind taking over? And he hands him the broom.
He takes the broom off you, and he dutifully goes and carries on sweeping up in the place that you were to complete the work. As you walk off to find the High Priest. The High Priest, he would be... I don't know the actual words for the names for these places in the temple. It would be kind of like almost like an office space, which would be reserved for him. You find him in there. He is an older gentleman. He's late 50s, early 60s. I've got a picture I'll bring up for you. There we are. You should be able to see that.
I can see that.
Hmm? So he's sat behind a desk, going through some parchments. Looks like maybe some religious teachings or something like that he's looking through. And as he sees you walk in, he looks up and goes, "Ah, Rory, my son. Are you..."
Hello, Father.
His name, by the way, I should have mentioned this, is Father Theodore Crowley, or Father Ted.
Love it.
Is he drunk?
No, that would be Father Jack. They keep him in back.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
So he says to you, "Are you sure you want to go on this journey?"
Absolutely. The world has to hear of our faith, brother.
I agree, but you're so young, and the world can be a dangerous place.
I'm sure that with Ithas on my side, anything's possible. I'm quite positive about this, Father.
Your faith will guide you in all things. I have spoken to the leader of the caravan, which is heading towards Bridge City. It's many, many miles away. I believe a good starting point for you would be there. There are many people living in a vast, vast metropolis. None of them have heard of our Lord, although they claim to have a temple to all gods. The caravan will be arriving shortly. The leader is a man named John Dwent. He's a good man. He's agreed to take you on as long as you earn your keep.
Of course.
He sort of looks
Thank you.
down at the religious texts that are on his desk in quiet contemplation for a moment, and then he reaches beneath like his robe and he pulls out the holy symbol, which is normally reserved for the high priest. It's an object of powerful magic, and you know this. He looks down at the symbol and looks up to you, and then slowly he takes it off. And he holds it out.
Father, I can't possibly wear this. I'm not ready.
I believe that, despite your young age, you are closer than you think. And I fear you may need its power on your journey.
I shall bring it back upon my return, Father.
See that you do.
Thank you for making the arrangements. I couldn't have prepared this trip without you, or my brothers.
It is no trouble. The temple will miss you when you're gone.
I will
Hopefully,
miss.
one of the initiates will step up. You've been like a son to me.
And you've been a father to me ever since the Empire came.
Yes, and he looks down, almost with like a look of anguish as he's remembering some of the events that led to you coming to the temple in the first place. At this point, you hear the sound of hooves clattering on the cobbled road outside. And Father Ted gets up, walks over to the window, and he opens it so he can see out. The window is made up of little glass diamond panes, you know, there's no like big sheets of glass. So he opens it and looks out. As he does, the noise of the street comes in, and the horses are much louder, and you can tell there's not just a couple of horses, there's quite a few. And you can hear the telltale sound of iron-rimmed wagon wheels over the the cobblestones, and Father Ted turns back to you and says, I believe the caravan has arrived.
It's come too soon, Father. I should get my bag and say goodbye to the brothers on the way out.
I will walk with you.
As you wish.
So he follows you out to collect your belongings. He looks over your shoulder as you're picking up your bags, and he's making sure that you've got everything. He's very... You can tell that he's very nervous, apprehensive about you leaving, but at the same time he knows that this is something you've got to do. As you go towards the main doors, all the initiates of the temple are lined up either side, forming a narrow corridor towards the entrance. And as you pass, each one of them bows in turn. And you step out onto the street. You step onto the street, it's a bright sunny day, even though it's the middle of winter. Down this far south, you know, it's still quite hot. You're bored. The place where you're at, in fact, so let me just, I'll put you on the world map and then you can see. Let's activate that. So you kind of, when you're loaded, let me know.
I'm loaded up.
I'm loaded. Okay.
Right, so you're kind of down here right on the border.
Okay.
So above you is the land of eternal summer. So even in the dead of winter, it's like spring. This far south, it's still like summer all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Something you're very used to. As you step out, the blazing sun beats down on your shiny head, and you see across the road a line of horses and carts, covered wagons, and wagons loaded up and fully laden with goods for trade. A few empty ones hoping to pick up trade goods on the route. And then you're approached by this fellow. Let me bring him up. Players. He comes walking over to greet you and Father Ted. He looks quite well-to-do, even though he's dressed in road clothes. He's wearing, obviously, bits of armour and stuff, but his clothes are in a very good state of repair. You can tell there's a bit of money there. And he reaches out his hand to shake. He goes, so you must be Rory. I'm John Dwent, leader of this caravan.
Well met, John.
Well met.
I hear from the father. I'm here to... I have to help with the caravan. So if there's anything I can do, just let me know.
Well, it's not every day we get a member of the priestly class on board these caravans. So yes, I would expect you to pull your weight, but we're not slave drivers here. We do pay, so you will be compensated for your services. What we would expect you to do, or agree to, is act as our healer. Is that something that you're able to do?
Yes, I'm well versed in healing arts and can channel the power of our Lord.
Well, that's certainly good to hear. The road can be a dangerous place. There's brigands and bandits, and sometimes creatures of all sorts of ilk.
Rory looks down at his mace.
John follows you stare, and he looks down and goes, impressive. I see you prepared. Well, if you're willing to agree to it, we'll pay you at a rate of 2 silver pieces per day for the duration. We don't expect the trip to last longer than 80 days. In this time, we'll be travelling to many different towns with many different customs. I can trust that you can respect the customs of the locals.
Absolutely.
We'll be doing trading, mostly camping on the road. And then, when we reach Grass Break, we'll be boarding a ship. We've got a stop to make around at Alora. It's an elven port city. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have not.
I'm giving you full. Yep, I'm giving you full access to the world map on purpose. So Alora is right up here, and you'll be boarding a ship here. It's quite a well-to-do elven port town. Many caravans call in there. We pick up things like elven silks, paints, the things that the ladies like, the elven face paints. They trade very well in Bridge City and beyond. Most of our cargo right now is it's all quite mundane, foodstuffs and regular. There's a weapons shipment, I think. Nothing too high value, but this will change as we carry on down the road. So we're not expecting too much trouble in the next week or so. And I will flip between calling it a week and a 10-day just to point that out, but it's still 10 days either way. But as we get out into the wilds and the small villages, things might change. So, is all that agreeable?
I have no complaints.
Excellent. Well, for this trip, you can ride up front with me. And, I think our business here is concluded. Father, and he looks towards Theodore. It was good seeing you again. And Father Ted replies, and you too, John, you too. Don't be such a stranger next time that you're in the town. I won't be. It's high time I paid my penance. And he clasps you on the shoulder and sort of leads you towards the caravan.
I wave bye to my brethren whilst squinting because of the light shining off the top of their heads.
They all wave in response, and you board the caravan and you set off. At this point, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and you travel along the. Is it the tradeway? I don't think that. No, it's not the tradeway. So you travel along this road for the most part, and you go through many towns and villages along. Oh, yeah, the coast road. As you approach the desert of Neff, you start heading more west rather than south. So you start skirting along the top of the desert. Even though on this world map, all the cities that are marked, they're like either really, really big cities or they're capitals. So there's a lot of towns and a lot of villages that aren't even marked on here. Because it'd get a bit too complicated otherwise. So you set off. And that's where we're going to leave your character for the moment. We'll come back in a minute. So, we move over to Dobar. Dobar, yeah. This, the date right now is the 13th day of Long Night. That's my wife coughing in the background. So it's 13th day. So it's a little over a month since Rory set out. Okay. And the scene here, you're in the desert. This isn't a sandy desert. This is more of almost like a flat desert. And you've been walking. You've been walking and walking and walking. The sun has been beating down on you the entire time. It's been 11 days since the attack. And you're still covered in soot. You've been walking north through the great desert. And it's been 3 days since you ran out of water. You feel weak. The sun is blinding, and your once bulky body is a shadow of its previous glory. I need you to make the first roll of this game.
Okay.
So I want you to roll a con save with disadvantage.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, I've lost connection to the server.
Oh no.
It's alright, I'll sort it now. It's come back up. So, con save, disadvantage. Okay. I'm rolling it in there. So,
That was a really good roll.
that was a very good roll. 17
Are you rolling it in D&D
in
Beyond?
Foundry. In
Oh,
Foundry.
in fact.
You can roll wherever you want. You can roll physical dice if you want. It really doesn't matter.
I don't
I trust you guys not to lie, but that was an insane roll at disadvantage. But, so as you're walking, you feel like your knees start to go. It's been too much. All the fighting and the lack of food. You've run out of rations. You've run out of water. The sun's beating down on you, and then you catch yourself just before you fall to your knees. You keep going. Keep heading north. You know there's got to be a way out of this desert. About another hour goes by. You get into the end of your stamina. Make a perception check.
Again, I'm going to roll it in Foundry. 11.
As you're looking out across the desert to the north, for a moment you think you glimpse a road. You're not sure. It could be a mirage. There's been a few mirages over the last few days. Initially, you dismissed them. You know the desert. You've lived in the desert your whole life. But as you started to run out of food and you ran out of water, each mirage has been almost like that hope that breaks you as you get to them, find out that there's nothing there, just more dry, salty dirt. This time, you think, it's got to be a road. You head for it. You keep walking. The mirage effect starts to clear, and you see a road. There's a road out there. You try to walk faster. You break into a run. The world becomes dark. The last thing you feel is a thump as you hit the hard, dry ground. You don't know how long you've been unconscious, but you hear voices.
I was just about to say, right, that's me done. I'll create another character.
You hear
Roll
these
death
voices. Yeah, you hear these voices. They're faintly getting louder. I think he's still alive. Get me water. Fetch the priest. Rory, you're escorted over to the unconscious form of Dobar. Would you describe what Rory sees?
Of course. You see, lying on the ground, probably like propped up now, bleary-eyed, trying to peer through like blistered, sunburnt eyes, looking at you. A giant of a man, over 6 foot tall. And despite the fact that there's clearly a man who is emaciated, dehydrated, he's still massive. Dried muscles, sinewy almost now, despite the fact that they are still bulging. Like boulder shoulders, thighs the size of trunks. Tree trunks. But despite the bulging muscles, it's almost a pathetic man now. This man is clearly riddled with sunburn and blisters, and he is looking like he's on death's door. And through his dry, parched mouth, he just mumbles the words, "Water."
I'm going to note that down.
You also see evidence. In fact, let's see Rory. So you come over, you see what Dobar looks like. What do you do?
Well, Rory's got a knowledge of medicine, so I would first triage him to see, try and diagnose what it is. It would be obvious to Rory that he's got dehydration. So the first thing
that's fairly obvious.
The first thing you would do is just give him a little bit of water to wet his lips, not too much, so he doesn't, vomit. And then Rory would inspect the damage done to him physically.
Right. Give me a medicine check.
Just gonna go put the big light on.
6.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Oh dear. Okay, so with a 6, all you're gonna see with that is the obvious stuff. So you look him over; he's definitely not eaten for close to a week. The first sort of signs of emaciation of setting. He's very, very dehydrated. He's very, very sunburnt. He's covered in black soot, like he's been in a fire. And you see evidence of wounds all over his body. But the wounds have already started healing. You look at him and you can tell this guy has got some serious constitution behind him.
Okay, so Rory would ask for some water and rags, and he would start cleaning him up. And then he would get this man some food, but we need to keep it slow. Maybe in a liquid form. Have him drink something to give him back some nutrients or something.
Got just to think, John says. And he looks over to one of the caravan guards. It's like, you, go to the the supplies wagon. Go and get me the liquid bread. And you would have had some of this on the trip, and it is basically like a very, so it's a beer, but it does contain like a lot of nutritious stuff.
And it's quite weak.
It's quite weak, yeah. It's kind of like it's in real world terms, it's the stuff that the Egyptians used to feed their workers. It was, I think that's what they called it. It was like a liquid bread. There wasn't a specific name for it, but it was basically an alcoholic drink, but it was full of carbohydrates and stuff.
Full of marrowbone jelly.
full of Baron. Yeah, bring that Mariborn jelly. Right, he comes back
Give
over
him a
with like
glossy coat.
with a with a big sort of like a earthenware demijohn, and he hands it to Rory.
Rory takes a bowl, scoops it, and then he puts it to the massive barbarian's lips, and slowly wets his lips with it.
I lap it up, like knowing, being from the desert, and it's quite clear that I know the area. I've lived here, especially in what is almost like a loincloth. You know, it's just and that's all I'm wearing, and some sandals. I'm at one. This is my home, so I understand that when dehydrated, you've got to take it slowly.
Yeah.
But your slowly is different to my slowly. I rub it on the lips, and I savor all the water, every single drop. I don't even let a single drop go to waste. And then I almost like force the cup out of your hand, like pulling it, like even though I'm like dehydrated, I'd still force it out of your hand with like a lot of strength.
Mm.
And I just start to chug the whole thing. You do seem like this is like very uncommon. Like this is not something I would do. You're gonna like hurt yourself doing this one so dehydrated. But the method that I'm doing it in, it's almost like I'm taking it down very, very like in a flow. Oh, I know what like he clearly knows what he's doing.
Okay. Whilst that's going on, John is standing over the pair of you. I'm assuming you're kneeling by Dobar, tending to him. And he looks down and he's, well, aren't you a giant of a man? What got you in this state?
I slowly like I use some of the water that's still left in my hands to rub my face, almost as like a moisturizer through the to soothe the blisters and all my cracked lips and my cracked eyelids. I slowly like look up, and he goes, "We were attacked. I'm too weak."
You were attacked on the road. You're very close to the road. As you realise that as you sort of come to.
No. How
Give
long
him time.
ago? How long ago was I? How long I've been traveling for?
Well, 11 days you've been on the road for. It's been 11 days since you were attacked.
Okay, 11 days. 11 days walk. So.
I look at John, like amazed at this guy's constitution.
Yeah, John looks down and he's like, you've walked 11 days across that desert in the blazing sun with no food and little water.
Dobar looks around himself, looks down to the south, almost like he's really trying to comprehend just how long he's been travelling for. Has it been a mirage? Who knows? Like, days blend into nights, blend into days when it's just nothing but walk. And he says, quite innocently, like, yes, I think so.
Well, let's get you on one of the wagons and out of this sun. And he turns to one of the other guys on the caravan. You! That covered wagon there, we're going to put him in the back. The person he's talking to sort of looks a little shocked at this. He says, he comes over to John. Make a perception check. Both of you can make a perception check. Let's see if he can hear what he says.
Should I do this with disadvantage?
I would say, well, yeah, actually, because you're just coming to, so you're still a bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 again.
You rolled another one.
Oh, me too.
There's 2 lads. That's a -1 for Dobar.
I got a 4.
You got a 4. So, Rory, you Dobar, you just like you're not even paying attention. You no clue what's going on. Rory, you hear a couple of words. That's about it. But he's having a whispered conversation, and John's getting a bit angry, or he's looking angry, as this guy is talking in his ear, and you hear, but in it like odd words like, "But he's a barbarian," and dangerous. And eventually, John just turns around and looks at me and goes, "This man is a danger to nobody in this state. We can't leave people just lying here, out in the sun, to the carrion.
I agree with John.
Exactly. We have a godly man with us. What would Ithas say?"
Ithas leaves no one behind.
"Clear the back of that wagon and get this poor boy. I was going to call you a boy. You're not a boy. This poor bastard on the back." And he scurries off, this fella, and he starts in a huff. You can tell that he's not happy. Making a meal out of moving things around in the back of this covered wagon, so there's room to put Dobar, because Dobar is a big guy. After about 10 or 15 minutes, you hear this fella. "There's room now. You should be able to fit him in there." And John looks to you. He's like, "Do you think we can lift him?"
It'll probably help us. He's very strong. Let's give it a go.
And John puts his hand on Dubar's shoulder and he says, "Do you feel strong enough to stand?"
Without even answering, I try to get up to my feet, get a bit more comfortable. Get onto my feet, and I clearly stumble as I'm getting up. But I do have a little bit of left in me. So as well as I do need aid to walk, I can just about walk.
Rory's 6 foot, so he wouldn't be, be tall enough to help him.
So John tries to steady you, and that's where he notices that you've got weapons strapped to your back still. What weapons are you carrying?
So I currently have quite a few weapons, and they're all quite roughly strapped to my back. You quite clearly see that they're not particularly well looked after. Well, sorry, they're not ornate in the slightest. They're looked after. They are practical, but that's it. Nothing beyond that. And I have just having a look at them because I've got quite a bit of inventory, which I'm assuming I won't have on me anymore. Okay,
No, you
so
will. Don't worry about that, because this is sort of
okay.
You'll get stuff off the caravan. What you've got in your inventory is what you'll be starting session 1 with, so don't worry about it.
I see. So in that case, for this session, let's just say that I have a longsword and it's starting to rust with all the salt. And I have what looks like a broken longbow. Short bow, sorry. That's been snapped, not quite in half, but three quarters of the way down. But I'm still carrying it.
So John gestures to you and he says, "Can we take these weapons off your back? It might be a bit more comfortable for you, and I'll have one of the guards try and clean up your sword. It's looking a bit rusty. We've got some oil."
I kind of as he tries to reach for it, I attempt to swat his hand away, almost quite aggressively. It looks like I've got a lot more energy than I did before. No, lay your hands off my weapons. But then it kind of there's a realization amongst everyone that I don't really have the strength to fight back if they do take my weapons.
So as you swat him away, he looks a little bit wary and almost steps back, but at the same time, as you say, you can tell that you're not that strong right now. So he's still got that a little bit of confidence. And he says, "Look, we're not trying to take your weapons from you. We just want they can stay in the wagon with you. I think it just might be more comfortable if you take them off. And maybe when you're stronger, we can give you some oil and rags to clean them. If you don't feel comfortable with one of my men cleaning it up for you."
As he's talking, Dobar just takes the leather straps and just like pulls them over his head, like very warily, pulling him through his long dark hair, and just like almost tosses them, like very warily to the floor next to him.
So John bends down and picks him up. At this point, I think, Rory, you're going to get a good view of the big tattoo that's on Dubar's back.
Yes, you will. So I have on the top of my shoulder blades, going up the back to the tips of my shoulders and the rear delts, an eagle, big eagle, with its wings span across, and its claws out at the bottom. Looks like it's about to pounce on its prey. Swoop down.
It's quite an impressive. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, it's the size of the tattoo is very impressive. It looks on at first glance that it's quite quite a simple design, and it is quite simple, but there's an elegance to the simplicity as well. This isn't something that was just rushed. This has taken a long time to do.
Yeah.
Can I see the individual fibers of the feathers in the design?
No, not quite that. Not that quite elegant. No, but it's quite clear that there's some artistry behind it. It's just quite a simple design, despite that.
Yeah. It would have taken a long time. We're talking about medieval technology for tattooing here, so this thing must have taken a while. It is very impressive because as Dubar gets up and he stretches his shoulders, it's almost like when he stretches his shoulders, the wings almost look like they're flapping on the eagle.
Yeah, his lats fan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get led over to the caravan where you're told that you can rest in the back, and John looks to Rory and says, "I think we'll take care of him for as long as he needs to. I don't feel comfortable leaving him out on the road."
Oh, absolutely. You did the right thing.
I know some barbarians have got a bad reputation, but they're not all bad. Some tribes have saved me many times on the road. And as Ithis teaches, we should always pay that kindness forward. So he puts Dubai. You get this caravan this covered wagon that you can sleep in, and it sets off. And this is the first time, even though you're on like a hard wooden deck, it's cool. The shade. You've got access to water. And there's people around you that are immediately trying to kill you. At this point, we're going to take a 5 or a 10 minute break.
Okay. I'm loving it so far. Right.
Dobar the Barbarian.
Dobar, but the Barbarian. It's a terrible name, and I was intending to change it before tonight, but I just like scratching my head going, what? I can't. I've just like locked into the name now.
Back after the break. You guys, you're now together on the caravan, and you've set off again, heading towards Lake Vale. After a couple of days, Dobar, you start to feel your strength coming back, and you start to feel like you can, you're a bit more active. You don't have to be lying down all the time. Is there anything that you would like to do, either of you, whilst you're on the road?
I would.
Uh,
Rory would like to take a slice of one of his, dome waxing things and hand it to Dubar to use as a chapstick.
Good idea, actually.
Absolutely.
That's a really good idea. I take it as you're sat in the carriage with me, the shaded carriage, and I'm like kind of propped in the corner, still looking very weird, like run down and dehydrated, still recovering. I take it off you quite wearily, like apprehensively. I'm still beaten up, and you can tell that I've gone through a very traumatic event, especially with all like the relatively new scars on me as well. And I like kind of like apprehensively like look at you and almost snatch it off you. And I get the block that you've just cut off, and I rub it on my lips. I just smear it in, and then I take a little bit and like rub it into like almost like a lava, and I start to like rub it gently across like all my sores, and even on like the shoulders and stuff like that. Get as much of like all the painful spots, top of my feet, inner thighs, even the bits that will be hurting and chafing the most.
Yeah, it should have a mint smell and feel to it, so the menthol will cool down your skin.
Yeah. And I take a smell of my hands afterward and savouring the smell. And I just not even looking at you, I just like grunt a thank you.
You're welcome. Would you mind me praying to my Lord and seeing if he can help you with your invisible scars?
Pray to your gods. Your God. He won't do anything.
Rory prays. And he gets down on his knees and he does the litany of Ithas. I pray each morning that you take our suffering. I pray each day to meter out your justice. I pray each night that I shall endure as you have endured. Bless this man. He is a man of endurance. He is worthy of your blessing. And then I get up.
You don't really see much of a reaction at all in either direction, a negative or a positive reaction from Dobar. It just looks, well, spent from the day's recovering.
I hand you some more liquid bread.
Is it in bottle form, or like a tankard, or?
It's they're in like earthenware demijohns, so about a gallon each. They're in,
I just hand him the demijohn then.
Yeah. And I clasp it and like almost yank it with like in both hands.
Just
I
say you with a
back in the chair.
5 litre.
Yeah. It's like,
just swinging it like a mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I slump back into the seat, and I don't gulp it down as much, but I do kind of just like close my eyes, or like close my eyes and just take swigs.
I forgot to mention, if there are any questions you've got about the world or anything that's going on, don't hesitate to ask. That's pretty much what this session's about too. So you carry on.
Oh,
go on.
apologies. Are you wearing anything? Well, of course you're wearing something, but what's your character wearing?
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Rory's got more practical clothes on than his toga. Would I be wearing my armor? I don't know if I would.
That's entirely up to you. I mean, you're on an active caravan. That's
Yeah.
traveling the world right now.
Yeah, I'd be wearing my armor. So I have like padding, red padding, quilted padding underneath, and then on top I have a suit of armor on. What's it? It's a chain shirt, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a chain shirt that you've got.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just a plain chain shirt. And I have a symbol around my neck. And the symbol looks quite valuable, but it's a symbol of a hand clutching a smoldering ember.
Okay.
And I'm bold as a coot.
Would I know of this god?
Make a religion check.
Okay.
DC is going to be quite high because this is quite an obscure god.
He's a lesser known god.
Okay. A whopping 8.
A whopping 8. No, you've never heard of this god. This is totally new to you. Which makes sense from where you come from.
I up the symbol though. I don't just mention anything. I don't really like even gesture at it, but I am like, you do notice quite clearly that I'm looking at the symbol, and then I just look away and carry on swigging.
Right. So I'm going to advance you forward another few days. So you've now been on the road for about 15 days. So it's been 15 days. Dobar's been on the road for 15 days. At this point, because of your constitution and you're used to life in the desert, you recover quite quickly. You're feeling almost back to 100% now. You feel like you can look after yourself. You don't need to be looked after anymore. At this point, let's say you're just outside of the city of Lakevale, which is here. So you've passed through the city, and you're heading north on this road. And you set up camp. They need to rest the horses, so they're having a full day of a break. So there's a camp's been set up. The wagons have been pulled around in a circle. There's a campfire going, and there's a lot of cooking. People are going out hunting. Is that something that Dobar and Rory would like to take part in? You don't have to.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I've got a sling. I like to go hunting with my sling.
I am going to the campfire is what is what's the vibe around the campfire?
It's quite at this point. It's quite jovial. The caravan itself is about midway on its journey, so it's getting to the point where people are starting to look and feel a little bit tired. But it's still got quite a long way to go. They're used to this sort of trip, though. So they're still quite jovial. They're not quite as energetic as they would have been, like, let's say, a month ago. There's drinks being passed around the campfire. They've pulled in some logs and stuff to use as benches and rocks. So they're all kind of everybody's that isn't involved in the hunting is sitting around having a bit of a laugh and a joke, telling tales of things that they've done in the past, or the trips that they've been on. Encounters that they may have had on the road, both combat and encounters in cities with the pretty ladies. It's that sort of vibe that you get as you're wandering around.
Is there much food around at the moment? Or are they waiting for the hunt to come back?
They're kind of waiting for the hunt to come back. There's a few like packs of hardtack that are being passed around as a bit of a snack, but they're obviously hoping for like a large deer or something to be brought in for a big roast.
I walk around the campfire, the camp, and I look at the lack of decent food, and I lean over to like one of the guards, or the caravan guards, and like hold like place my hand on his shoulder, and like lean in, and like almost just like not grab his beer, but like grab one of the beers that are next to him, and just take it and start swigging it, and then halfway through like a swig, just say, just go. It looks like I'm gonna have to get some proper food.
You've got to do it in the voice. I'm sorry, everybody knows.
Got to do it in the voice.
You've got to do it in the voice now.
Like, oh no!
Everybody knows what you look like.
Oh no! I can't do voices on command.
I need protein.
There you go.
It looks like I need to go into these this forest here and get some proper food.
There you go. That's pretty good. The guy that you put your hand on almost flinches. I mean, your hand's freaking massive. I mean, these are regular sized humans. You know, they're averaging around about 5'7" to maybe 5'11". Rory's pretty tall for amongst these people. You are like a giant. You just put this big meaty claw on this guy's shoulder. He's like, "What?" He just looks up at you and goes, "Sure, get what you need." I think they're going hunting.
I take it. Whilst my hand's still on his shoulder, I look around and I clearly like look for the people who are gearing up to getting all the weapons and stuff to go for a hunt. I don't have my short bow because it's still broke. Do I have my longsword back?
Yeah, it's been with you the entire time. So we'll say over this time, maybe about 5 days ago, you were feeling up to maybe doing a little bit of maintenance on it, and you were offered some oil and rags and things to clean it up. So yeah, you've got your longsword.
Okay. And I have a look around for the hunting party, and I approach the hunting party. Are you in the hunting party?
Yeah, you see Rory getting prepped, and you see a couple of the guys that would normally be acting as caravan guard, passing out bows.
Okay. And I walk up and I take like without even saying anything, like I nod, a friendly nod and a friendly smile, and I take one of the bows off the person, handed out the bows and a quiver of arrows.
So this guard he just unquestionably just lets you take it. He goes, "Are you feeling up to a bit of hunting today?"
I look around, look into the forest, and goes, "What animals?" I can't do it anymore. What animals are in the around here?
Well, around these parts, you can definitely count on finding some deer.
Sign me up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you've got your bow. You've got some arrows.
I throw the bow around my shoulder and sling the quiver on it as well, and like flex up as well as I'm doing it.
You notice that when you take this bow, though, you examine the weapon as you take it. This is a hunting bow. It's not a war bow. So as you examine it and you pull the string, it's only like a 40-pound draw, where a war bow is like a 130-pound draw. So you just you almost snap it as you pull it back. And you're like, it's like,
I look at him and smile as he's doing it.
Right, so you get led off into the woods. Dobar, Rory, and a couple of the caravan guards. You can both do a survival check. Let's see if you can pick up any animal tracks.
18.
9.
9. So, Dubai, you're looking around. You're not used to these deer and hunting in woods. You've never done it before. But Rory, you're in there 2-3 minutes, and you instantly pick up on a trail. And you see there's several deer.
I was thinking Roy picks up some of the scat and goes, fresh. Puts it down.
Absolutely, that's going to be a thing now. So
I didn't
yeah,
lick
you
it.
can. You didn't lick it. You can pretend like you do.
Fresh.
So
Rory's like, he's got. A doe, a deer, a female deer.
Just getting more and more specific.
Yeah.
it's kind of red.
You can only do that with good rolls, though.
So you follow the trail into the woods. Whilst you're following this deer trail, is there anything you want to do or look for?
I turn to Dobar and say, I heard you're after some proper food. Let's look for some seasoning while we're out here too. Some flavorful herbs. I think you might be able to take them. Like spices. I'd like to look for some condiments, basically.
Okay. All right. So make a. This should. I'm trying to avoid just doing like loads of survival checks. So you know what you're looking for. Let's just make it an investigation check for this one.
Okay. I'm looking for something with a kick.
Something with a kick.
Oh, critical. 22.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
22. Okay. What is it you actually want to find? With a 22, I'll let you find pretty much anything.
I would like to find some form of chili pepper and maybe I got an idea.
Go on.
A beehive.
A beehive. Okay.
Oh, some honey, yeah.
So yeah, you find a beehive, and as you're rooting around, you're still following this deer trail, but you notice in this little clearing between bushes some plants that are really unusual, and you spot these chili plants, and you're like, these shouldn't be growing here. It's really weird. It's almost as though somebody's come into the woods and planted them for their own little private stash, so they don't have to pay the import costs from one of the caravans when you found a little private stash of chili plants growing. You can take
save the seeds. Yeah.
So yeah, you take some chilies and you find a beehive.
All right, I've got to be careful here.
Yeah, hanging from a tree in that sort of classical like Winnie the Pooh style.
Yeah. Yeah, I would find something to smolder.
Right. Okay.
So I'd get my tinder. I'd get my flint and tinder, and I would find some dry leaves or something like that, and then I'd make a very smoky thing to try and calm the bees down before I.
Well, it's easy enough for you to set them almost alight and keep them smouldering. Right. So let's do an animal handling check for this one.
All right.
I know
There
they're
we go.
insects, but we'll see.
They're animals. 20.
20. Okay. You've done this before.
High wisdom. See.
Yeah. You've done this before. You're used to having to go and raid beehives. In fact, the
Yes.
monastery or the temple's got a few. And you expertly smoke the bees out.
Throughout the whole process of you doing this, like finding these peppers and really taming the beehive, like you see that Dobar is just watching very inquisitively of the whole process. Not really saying a great deal, but he's very inquisitive watching.
I take a bite of the honeycomb and I go, close my eyes and I go, and I break some off and I hand it to Dobar and I say, taste this.
I take it off you. Would I have had honey? I suppose I would have had something similar.
You could have had honey. I mean, the tribe that you belong to, all right, they haven't left the desert, but they do trade with people, and you might have got it from somewhere. It's up to you whether you want to decide whether you've had it or not.
There's bee larvae in it as well, so it's extra protein.
Okay, so I smell it, and then I I don't even hold back really. I'll just take a bite of it, and Dubai just starts to beam, and he goes, and he eats a bit more, like licking all his fingers, and he goes, "It's a good find.
All right,
Get
let's
some
save
more."
this for the pot. Let's save this for the pot later. So I stash the beehive and the chilies, and then we continue.
I continue. Continue following the trail. About 15 more minutes. In this little wooded area, there's a nice big clearing, and you see a group of deer all grazing in this clearing. There's maybe 5 or 6 of them.
At
What
that
would you
point, I almost make myself really low. I spot them and look to you and put my finger on and crouch, almost crouch down.
Yeah.
Still on my feet.
Okay.
And I get my bow.
A sneak.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. You sneak. Make a stealth check for the pair of you.
Luckily, I think my armor isn't too heavy.
13.
That's not too bad.
Ooh, 22, critical.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Makes
So
up
you
for me mishandling the medicine earlier.
So you manage to you start sneaking. The deer do not appear to have noticed your approach. Is this where Dobar goes into a rage and charges them?
Not quite. I take it very I approach as I start to approach the deer and get to a good range that I feel confident with. Take a bow, an arrow out the quiver, and load it up. Not quite getting tame, just holding it ready, and then slowly approach the deer. And then when I've got a clear shot, I look to Rory, see if he's ready to go.
Yeah.
And then
I ask for Ithas's guidance. I cast guidance on myself, and then I notch a bullet into my sling.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, does guidance have a verbal component?
Let me see. Oh, it does.
Oh.
Can it be a whisper?
I suppose you can whisper. Well, I'm going to make you do another stealth check.
Okay.
You cast guidance either way. So your guidance would apply to this stealth check.
12.
12, okay.
Oh, wait. I need to throw the guidance. Which is D4, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yes. 16. Went to go.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you managed to whisper guidance spell.
Yes, protect me.
And again, the deer don't appear to have heard you.
Okay.
You do see, like, I almost like shake my head though, because I know that even any noise might spook them.
I obviously know what I'm doing though.
Yeah.
So, how close do you get to these deer?
I don't hunt. I don't know anything about hunting, so I'm just gonna say as close as I need to be to get like within good range without spooking them.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to take down. Try and take it down as, aim for the
As
head
clean.
with a bullet.
Okay, so you
Clean
got
as possible.
amongst the deer. There is like a large buck. It's really quite big. He's almost the same size as Dobar. There's a couple of does that are smaller, and there's a couple of like I don't know what the term is for an infant deer, but there's a few knocking
fawn.
about. A fawn. Which one are you going to go for? And are you both attacking the same one?
What? Sorry, I know I'm more playing your character here, but what's going to be the tastiest and the most nutritious?
I would be concerned for the health of the pack of deer, so I would select the one that would cause the least disruption.
Okay. So maybe one of the fawns.
Or two fawns, maybe. I mean, how old are the fawns?
They look like they're probably approaching about a year.
They're probably big enough for us to harvest. We should do that rather than the females or the male. I point to one of the younglings, the adolescents. A male.
I kind of like squint and then like nod towards like the big one, to the book, like almost like.
I go.
And then thinking back to how you handled the beehive, I kind of just like nod in agreement.
Okay. So you're both lining up on the same one. You can both make
a young male. Yeah.
Young male.
Yep.
Both
make an attack roll. So I know you just treat it as a short bow, Dobar.
Okay. Right.
Sling.
Oh dear.
5.
Oh, critical hit.
Another
Nice.
critical.
You've been doing
hell.
really well. Well done.
24,
Right.
and then
20.
I'll roll it, and then I'll roll my. I got 4 max. 28.
28 to hit a deer.
Yeah.
Dubar's 5 would have been enough to hit one.
Really?
Yeah, the armor class of something like that.
Do I get it in the head then?
Oh yeah.
With the stem.
So Dubar's arrow, you hear it go through the air. It hits this young buck in the haunch, spooking the rest of the herd, and they start running. This youngling starts running after it, just as Rory, you just let fly with your bullet, and it goes straight through the back of the skull. You hit it with so much force, it just drops, and the rest of them scatter into the woods.
I say, don't worry about the others. There's enough meat here to feed several of us, or maybe 1.5 of you.
I stand up, getting up from the crouch position, and I almost like hand my head in shame and goes, "Poor shot."
I look at you and say, "It's not your bow."
And I walk up to the deer and I like pull the arrow out, look over it, and then just pick it up and then just sling it over my shoulder.
Oh, so the arrow's in good condition, because you didn't hit it that hard. With 5, so
I'll find my bullet later.
sure, while you're butchering it, you want to find it, yeah. If you want to attempt it, so you make your way back.
Let's not go digging now. I'm disgusted.
You make your way back to the camp. On your way back through the woods, you come across the other 2 people that were out hunting. They've caught another young deer, but it's not as big as yours. But they're like, "Well, you've got a decent one." Well, we might as well not bothered, but none of it'll go to waste, I suppose.
I say, none of that. It's all important. Come on, lads.
Yeah, we can use every bit. We can skin them and sell the hides. So you make it back to the camp, where the people that would normally do this in the caravan start butchering the kills, unless you want to get involved in it.
Yeah, right.
You want to?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't bother. Once I've got back to the camp, I like just fling it on the floor, throw it off my shoulder, and then go to the camp, sit down, and start drinking.
Excellent. So as we'll deal with the butchering in a sec, but as you go back to the campfire, there's a demijohn being passed around. As it gets to you, you start taking a swig, thinking it's going to be some more of like the liquid bread type beer stuff, and it isn't. It takes you a little bit by surprise. This is like some sort of whiskey in this that they're passing around.
Ooh, strong stuff.
Yeah, you can tell that whilst you've been gone, things have gotten a little bit more loose around the campfire.
I take a swig and I look around and I just go, you broke out the strong stuff.
Well, it's the halfway point. Time to celebrate.
And I pass it on to the next person. Is the caravan leader part of this around?
He is. He's as you've walked up, he probably sat opposite you on the other side of the campfire.
I look over to him and like nod, to like raise my head to like get his attention, and I say to him, and he goes, "What do I owe you for saving my life?"
You don't owe us anything, friend. But
I look back. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, but if you want to stick with us, we would ask that you pull your weight. A fellow like you should make a good guard.
I look back at the caravan and point my head towards it, and I say, and he says, I can't walk away without any payment. So please let me help you.
Well, how's this for you then? If you sign on as one of the guards, we'll pay you a silver piece a day. It's normally 2, but if you feel like there's some sort of debt to be repaid, then would you accept 1 silver piece a day?
At that point, the jar of like whiskey comes round, and I take a swig of it, and he goes, "It's a deal," and then pass it on to the next person.
As you pass it on to the next person, he goes to take a swig and he looks back up at you and goes, "You drink like a bloody dwarf."
What's wrong, little man? Can't handle your beer?
I can handle it just fine, but every time it comes from you, it's like...
I love Verical's whiskey beer.
That's another thing. Yes, so Dobar just calls whiskey beer because his tribal stuff is much stronger than that. You're just chugging it.
Yeah.
We have to use magic to get it to ferment.
Yeah.
Very probably one of his tribal elders brews it specially.
Yeah. I keep casting resurrect on the yeast.
Yeah. Just, like liquid ayahuasca on a daily basis.
Oh god.
Yeah, Dobar's used to drinking 100% ethanol or something like that. It's just
God.
This stuff is nothing.
I'm imagining it Barbarian style. Fermented birds or something.
Fermented birds.
Oh god. It's probably fermented snake. It'd be cactus or something, won't it? It'd be like cactus wine.
Ayahuasca.
That's just been like fermented and turned into this really potent vodka type drink.
First, take the skin of a buffalo, stuff it full of birds, and then fill it with milk, and then bury it.
Yeah, bury it for 100 days.
Well, there you go. There's a crafting recipe. Dobar, you sat around the campfire. You've agreed to sign on for a silver piece a day, which they will pay you from this point on. Right. Yep. I'm just making sure I've got it written down. Rory, you start help butchering the kills.
Yeah.
Have you got a specific goal in mind? Are you just looking for your bullet?
Not really looking. Yeah, I'll try and get my bullet back, but I would like to harvest some sinew so that maybe Dobar could repair his bow.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So this will be a survival check again.
Yeah.
Let's just see how well you can harvest parts.
14.
14. 14's enough.
14.
I mean, there's two deer, so you can between the two of them, if you make any mistakes, you can harvest enough sinew to do what you need to do. You can make an investigation check whilst you're butchering the big one. Let's see if you find your bullet.
15.
15. You know exactly where it went. It just depends on how squeamish Rory is.
He's not squeamish.
He's not squeamish. You stick your finger right in that hole in the back of its head and you just dig it out.
Okay, I say waste not, want not. I wash it with water and I pop it back in my pouch.
Flick the brains off. It's like... So you get your bullet back. With your 14, you didn't do a half bad job at butchering one of them, skinning it as well. So there's a deer pelt that will be added to. Either you can keep it if you want, or it'll just get added to the caravan's inventory.
I'll count it as doing my keep.
Right. Okay.
Along with the meat.
Along with the meat, are you gonna be involved in the cooking?
Oh well, yeah, and I'll use the chilies and
You're gonna
honey.
use the chilies and honey. Right. So after butchering, you go to the campfire.
Kind of thing.
They're gonna set up a spit to roast one of them. It's up to you if you want to make a stew or something with the other. There are vegetables and stuff that they carry on the caravan as well, so it's, you're not just having meat. You can make. I think it's actually a survival check for cooking. I know. Um, let me just move
I don't want to do an Eowyn.
on. It's that one. Is it a survival check? Yeah, it will be. So, yeah, make a survival check for me.
Okay. Could I cast guidance before I do this?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I say,
Spam that guidance.
if us make this flavorful. Okay. What did you survival again?
Yeah.
Oh God. 10.
10.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing you've ever cooked. It's not terrible.
Can I hide it with a chili?
Good idea.
Well, I was gonna say you might have overdone it with a chili.
Oh, all right.
You may have miscalculated. And after a taste, is Rory into spicy food? Is it something that he eats all the time?
Yeah, he's a desert man.
Okay, you take a taste of it, and you're like, even for you, this is a bit hot, but it's not the hottest thing you've ever had in your mouth as far as food goes.
Ooh, spicy.
I'm like,
So
I feel a buzz.
you feel a buzz. You start sweating. You see beads. Dobar. You see beads of sweat start appearing on his chrome dome.
Dripping down my dome.
Brilliant.
And this is odd to you because it's getting into the early evening now. It's quite cool. So the food gets passed around. Everybody enjoys the spit roast. There's a few faces as they try Rory's spicy deer. How's Dobar with spices?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, this is your time to find out.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
constitution
gonna
save.
say- I'm actually gonna say that being down from more south of the desert, spices they're not unheard of, but it's not really something that the tribe goes for on a
All right.
on a daily basis. We like our meat very as raw as possible.
You like it rare.
Yeah, I do.
So it's up to you
Yeah.
how Dobar reacts to the spiciness of this dish.
So this is gonna be hot. And I'm not going to Dobar takes a bite. And he goes, it's quite clear that he's very uncomfortable. He's not he's not hiding it at all, and it just it doesn't spit it out. It goes lifts up. Is it in a bowl or is it
Yeah.
just yeah? Lifts up the bowl and he goes, what is this?
I say it's best we could do on the road. I'm afraid.
It's just too hot. Calm it down a
Oh.
bit next time, and then just I'll still eat it, but be quite the food critic over it.
See, I
Okay.
thought that was either gonna go one of two ways there. I thought you was either just gonna do what you did, or be like, warriors food, and just start.
Nice. I say. Alright. I just ate it.
Yeah, the Constitution save comes in the morning when you need to use the bathroom.
Luckily, we didn't have any onions.
So, yeah, you settle down. If there's anything, this is kind of like the point in, I suppose, this session where if there's any sort of role play you want to do between each of you to find out more about each character. this is the time to do it. If not, you don't have to reveal anything. You know, you can keep it just on a professional level as you're on this caravan. It's entirely up to you guys.
As the drinks flow and the food's quite abundant, my tongue's a little bit loosened, and I start to be quite. It becomes quite apparent that when I'm, shall we say, off duty, um, I'm quite relaxed and enjoy, the more finer things in life. I'm very much enjoying this company. I'm very much enjoying the environment. It's a little cooler than up north than I'm used to, but I'm actually enjoying that, especially after like the soothing effect on the sunburn and stuff, which I'm still recovering from a little bit. I'm enjoying the revelry. Having a laugh. Sometimes even being more like the centre of the party as such. Being quite boisterous, throwing my weight around, but also in a bit more of a friendly manner as well. Telling everyone of stories of from my tribe and particular hunts or war packs that I've gone out, and stories of past friends and what have you, and the adventures that we'd been on.
Cool. I'm gonna ask you to give me a charisma check.
Charisma check. Is that just a straight charisma?
I would say it'd be like a performance, but for you, it's the same.
Okay, yeah. Performance, yeah. 12.
That's not bad. So after an hour or so of you loosen up, and then you start talking about things that you've done in the past with everybody in the caravan. You can see that they all start to relax a lot more around you. You know, they were a bit wary of you. You're a big guy. So there's been rumours flying about how some barbarians treat caravans and whatnot. So you could tell that there was actually a little bit of fear there. That seems, by the end of the night, that seems to have dissolved away. You're now one of the lads. You know, you're one of the group. They've accepted you, so to speak.
I almost lean into the rumors as well, but in a joking way. when say for example, one of the caravan drivers mentions, oh, we're a little bit scared of barbarians, hearing all the rumors and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I even say, yeah, you need to be afraid of us. If we know that you're carrying something good, we will raid your caravan, but also do it in a sincere but joking manner as well.
Yeah.
There's nothing to don't be afraid now. I'm now working for you, but yeah.
You need to watch out for my brothers, kind of thing.
Yeah. if I was on the road to ambush you and raid the caravan, you definitely should be fearing me.
So, is there anything that Rory wants to do in this time?
Rory doesn't drink, so he's drinking. He's got. I would like to go find some mint, actually, make some mint tea or something.
Okay, yeah. Let's just. I need to get into my folder 1 second. Scott, in here, I've got a list of where everything can be found as far as plants go.
Oh, nice.
I
was thinking because we're somewhere more temperate, we might find some.
Yeah, I just want to. What it'll do is give me an idea of when I can find a damn thing. It's all organised, this, I swear. Before that. Yeah, there we go. So, mint. Right, yeah, right. What it kind of, because it's, you would find it in the area, but because of exactly where you are, it depends on the DC. Or just finding it. That's all. So yeah, you can go out and have a look for some mint. So you got you got herbalism proficiency. You do, right?
Yeah. I think so. I've got a herbalist kit. Yeah, herbalist kit.
Right.
I'm proficient.
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, you will
Yeah.
be. And you're proficient in survival. So, right. I will say, yeah, make a survival check. You've got a higher proficiency in that. So,
Okay. I'm gonna spam guidance again.
absolutely.
If that's guide my hand. There. Oh, Brit, 25.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, what was that total?
28 in total.
Fucking hell. Rory's a lucky character. Um,
But it's not. It's nothing to do with luck. It's if that's.
yeah, you're being pious.
Okay.
So, yeah, you find some mint. It's not it's
Okay.
not even that far away from the camp.
Yeah. If that's blessing. And I strip the leaves with my hand like that. And I gather the leaves, put them in pouch, take them back.
You can put some mint in your little herbalism pouch.
Yeah.
Now the way I'm kind of doing the amounts in there, it's like a bushel of. So
a bushel of, yeah.
Yeah, so one would be a bushel of, which is generally what you need for crafting. So, with the mint, if you're using it for tea, I would say depending on how much you want to make, the amount that you've just collected would probably do you about 5 or 6 pots of tea. If you were just using
5 or
it for
6
tea.
pots of tea.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use them for tea for the road, I think. Okay. Shall I add it then?
Yeah, you can add it in there because if you don't use it all while you're on the road, you've still got it with you after.
It's custom item, right?
Yeah. So add a custom item, just call it mint, and then let's say
in the notes,
just put.
I'll say 5 pots.
Yeah, 5 pots. So the amount is 1, and then you can make 5 pots of tea with that 1 bushel.
Okay. Adding. Oh, no. Got the beeswax as well, haven't I?
Yes, you got some.
Yeah.
So you can add that. From 1 beehive, let's call that, because you're using it to craft your dome wax, aren't you?
Yeah. Or
so
chapstick.
Oh, chapstick. So let's give that an amount of 2.
Okay.
So generally, when you're crafting, you'll use 1 to do
Right.
1 crafting round. So you've got enough to do like 2 lots of crafting with it.
Wait, I think I did it wrong. I changed my backpack's name to beeswax.
Fair enough. Carrying around a lump of beeswax.
Bob off. 1 second. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Beeswax. I'll say 2. Okay. And could I have 1 unit of honey then?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you want to put that in your herbalism pouch or you just want to carry it as a food item, that's up to you.
Yeah. Being like an earthenware thing. Yeah, I'll just put it in my backpack. Okay. Oh, and I want to save some of those chili seeds so that I can grow them on the back of the wagon. Pot.
Okay, yeah. You can attempt to do that.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look. So that will be right. Okay. So when you get back on the road, it'll be like a nature check. Let's see if you can basically plant them in some sort of pot or empty jug, because there's going to be a few after tonight.
Yeah.
Right. We'll just wait for Philip to get back. Unless there's anything else that particularly you want to do.
No, I'll just make a pot of tea, and so I'll mark one of those down, and I'll hand the tea around to anyone who wants it.
Surprisingly, you do find a few of them. There's a few people that do accept it. Not everybody's drinking. There are still some people on duty guarding, even at this point. And it is much appreciated as the night is getting cooler. A nice warm drink.
I sit down by the fire next to Dobar. So it was some nice work with the deer earlier.
I look at you like a little tipsy, and he goes like almost like like elbows you in a friendly manner. He goes, "No, my friend, it was all you."
You're as quiet as a mouse, as strong as an ox.
I kind of just like shrug at that, like with a smile on my face.
I say, I've got a plan for your bow. It'll be a few days, but I managed to scavenge some sinew. Needs to cure though.
I look at you and go like, don't waste your effort. I'll find another one.
I'll keep an eye out for some yew as well.
I nod and like raise the whiskey or beer or whatever's going round. That's in my hands at the moment.
I sip my mint tea.
And I
Tell
kind
me,
of like offer you the beer as well.
my faith prevents me from partaking. And then I say, on was it 9 days? 9 days of a 10-day.
I kind of like just go and suit yourself, and
Festivals only, I say.
Okay. Go on. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, tell me of your home.
I'm not going to bother with the accent for this. So I go into looking at you and then looking like wistfully into the darkness in the forest, and I describe like the desolate desert, I suppose, yeah, of the salt plains. And again, like basically like recall all the things that you've missed whilst like cooking and harvesting the deer. The adventures we've been on, like the raiding parties that we were part of, and like why we were doing it as well. Like, and you get the impression that I don't make any excuses whatsoever, but you kind of get the impression that the tribe aren't like necessarily bad people. They're not doing it. They're not doing raids for out of necessity. It's it's more than necessity. It's a pride thing. It's
Cultural thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a way of our culture and our tribe. And you do get the impression that we do kind of go a little above what we need to do.
Yeah.
As well.
You enjoy
Like
Viking.
we basically enjoy raiding. And yeah, but we're not savages as such. Well, we are, but we're not evil.
We're not,
Um,
we're not the baddies.
yeah. Are we the bad guys? We do pick our battles as such. And yeah, and I describe like point to the tattoo, and I describe the tattoo as well, and the significance of it. Of that, it's I come from a particular tribe that like doesn't worship the eagle, but is almost like one with the eagle, and the reasons about like how we're on salt plains and there's like long distances, and we can see over the long distances. Using the sight that is granted to us upon us by the eagles, and they guide us through the hunt.
I must say, I admire your endurance. Endurance is something which my god symbolizes. So you've earned my respect. Surviving out there that long all by yourself.
I kind of like, with a smile and a shrug, just go, it's the only way to survive. And I like almost like well, I don't almost, I actually like hammer my chest and go, without the hardiness, I'd be a carcass being picked to the bone.
An economic girly carcass.
Yeah. I'd just be feed.
So you explain to Rory the significance of your eagle tattoo and what it means. Do you tell him everything about the tattoo, or just what you've said?
Not everything, just those really.
Right. Okay. So unless there's anything else you want to do, I'll draw this a little bit to a close and we'll move on.
An eagle. So our Lord. There's stories of our Lord having his liver pecked out by an eagle every day.
It went a little bit robotic there. Sorry. What were you saying, Nick?
What was I
What
saying?
did you just say? Yeah, it just started to break up a bit on my end.
I just said if you're happy to, I'll move on past this bit.
Yeah.
I look to you and I like just point my beer at you and say, "What's your story, priestman?"
Beastman. Okay. Remember where I'm from.
You are from Green Hills would be.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. I've got it written down.
That's probably
from,
what you'd be calling it.
Yeah. I'm
Is
from
that on the map?
Green
It's
Hills.
not, but I'll give you a pointer.
To the east of here.
So it's
quite
sort
a
of like
ways.
down here.
Okay.
My land is being occupied currently by an empire of it's an empire of cat people, right?
Correct.
The
The
empire
Leonin are like the lion type ones. They're the ruling class of the cat folk.
Yeah. My town is occupied. My country is no longer the country it was when I was a small boy. And my family were caught in a conflict and didn't make it. but I was taken in by Father Ted, by Father Theodore Holy, and he brought me up in the Temple of Ithas, and I've been there most of my life. But I'm on a mission from God to spread the word of my Lord Ithas, and hopefully one day set up a temple to him across in another location on this continent.
Mhm. Kind of like I'm soaking in, and like I'm not just like ignoring you. Like it's very clear that I'm absorbing like every word that you say. Just not really saying a great deal back.
I'm no stranger to hardship. That's what I'm saying.
Kind of like nodding agreement. And I like look around and I say, like point at someone who's got like the beer and goes, I take the beer off him, and take a swig and then pass it back. I go to hardship.
I hold my mint tea out to hardship.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that'd be a good point to move on.
Yep.
Yeah. So, pack up for the night and set off again in the morning. The people of the caravan are now treating Dobar with a lot more respect. And over the next few days, you walk alongside with your sword ready for any attacks, constantly looking all the time. About another 5 days later, you're approaching like a little bit of an outcropping that you've got to go up. And because you're on caravan guard duty, Dobar, I would like you to make a perception check as you're approaching.
Oh dear. 0.
0. Dobar sees nothing. Okay. So.
You have minus one.
I've got -2.
Oh.
He's got -2 to his perception. Dobar's wisdom's not so good. Okay, so you the guards, you're at the lead, the proud man that you are. You're back to, I suppose, your full strength by this point. You still don't look as bulky as you used to. It's going to take you a little while to rebuild that muscle, but you don't look weak. So you're very, very proud, and you're marching in front. You're approaching this little bit of this outcropping, and I would like you to roll initiative.
Oh no.
Since you didn't see it.
Okay.
I look like Billy Corgan.
Ooh, are you all right? I'll just need to put myself into.
Oh, you're actually Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, I'm not Schwarzenegger. Are you okay to activate the combat so I can roll initiative?
Oh, right, yeah. Just one sec.
Oh god.
Where are you? There you go, you can roll it there if you want. I'm just doing my D20.
16.
16 for Dobar. Okay. I would like Rory to roll some initiative too.
Okay. Where do I roll it?
However you want. You can
Okay.
do it in D&D Beyond. You don't have to do it in
6.
6. Oh my god.
Yep.
That's the lowest roll, I think. Right, it's not your lowest roll tonight. Right, so we got
You can't add it all.
Right.
Maybe I was deep in prayer.
Maybe.
In a trance.
Okay, so Dobar, you're going to be going first here. But as you approach this, this sort of like rocky outcropping, the road goes over the top of it. You spot, too late, 2 bandits on either side. There's dead bodies all around. This isn't the first caravan you've attacked, but more so, right here, you spot a Druss. The Druss are the ruling class of the lizard folk, and they're mainly mages.
Is it very clear that this guy's a mage?
Yes.
Okay.
He looks very similar to the people that were involved with the incident.
Okay.
Not necessarily the same one, but he's got that. That's the, I suppose, the mages that were involved. They look like him.
The 2 what look like archers next to us, are they enemies or are they?
Those are caravan guards.
The caravan guards. Okay. As we're approaching, I spot them. It's very clear that these are bandits. I don't hesitate to stand up, draw my long sword, and just jump off the side of the caravan.
Absolutely.
Am I right to move?
Yep.
Okay, 5, 10. So 5. That'll be 10.
Yeah.
And I just run. I just start running directly towards the mage here. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. What's my travel distance? Be 30, 55, 60. So run to there.
Right. Go.
Sword in hand.
I'll just bring up a larger picture so that you can see. So that's kind of what this mage looks like.
Okay.
Okay, so you use your action to dash and you run up there. Is there anything else you want to try and do? Don't forget you've got that hero point that you can use.
Of course, yeah. So what does the hero point? I'll pop it on there. What exactly can I do the hero? So you said like I can do a heroic action as such.
Yeah. So if there's something, okay. So like in this sort of instance here, you could spend your hero point to make an attack against that truss by throwing your sword at it or something like that, which would normally be an action.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest. Actually, just launch the sword at it.
But you'd spend that hero point, and then it'd just be like a normal, you do your attack then. But that's what you're trying to do, is heroic.
As I'm running towards it, like I'm very clearly like lasered eye on this truss. Do I see that the bandits have the weapons drawn?
Oh yeah, they're ready. These guys are carrying. Yeah, so they're holding crossbows and they've got a scimitar, but they're ready with the crossbow right now.
So yeah, absolutely. I'm going to spend my heroic point and switch from like holding the long sword in both hands to take it in my like my main arm and just like throw the long sword at the mage, but also whilst kind of like keeping an eye on the crossbow wielding guys, and if they are gonna fire, like just like roll out of the way, but towards the mage.
Right, okay, yeah, I'll let you do that with your hero point. So you can throw it. It'll be a strength-based thing, so you might as well you can use a normal attack roll for this.
Normal attack roll, using my longsword, yeah?
Yeah.
Or would you rather me do a versatile with it?
Well, the versatile will come with the damage later.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, sorry. So attack.
Yeah, that's going to hit him. Yeah, that's definitely going to hit him.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so the damage on this, I will let you do versatile damage.
Versatile on that.
Because you've put a lot of strength into it with this heroic action.
7.
7. Excellent. Right, okay. Shit, that's a lot of damage. Right. Okay, so you as part of this heroic action, you do notice that as you run up, the two bandits are training the crossbows on you. So you can run up, you throw your sword, it goes straight into this Druss mage, sticking into his chest, and he looks down in absolute shock at this action that you've just done. And I'll let you roll because he's so heroic. You spending your heroic point, yeah, I'll let you roll another 10 feet forward.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so that's the end of your turn. Now it's the mage's go. And he... Having seen that, he is going to use his ability to cast Bane on you. So you need to make is it a choice? Actually, you can do it on 3 within what's the range on that? 30 feet. Let's have a see. Right, so it's just you, yeah. He's gonna waste this Bane on you. Right, okay. So that's his action. Have I got a concentration thing here? But it's a concentration spell. Yeah, there. So he's concentrated. And then he is going to look at his two bandit guards and shout at them, "Kill this barbarian!" As he starts running away. So he runs over here, 30 feet. Right, so Bane, every attack roll and saving throw that you do, you've got a minus a d4 from it.
Okay.
Whilst he's concentrating on it. That brings us to the caravan guards and John, who is going to try and calm the horses down. But this guard here is going to try and attack that bandit with its longbow. Actually, sorry. Right, it's probably going to do that. So, attack roll, and it gets to add a d10 to this attack roll. Yeah, that's definitely going to hit with a 22 plus 6. And then it's going to do 10 damage. Excellent. To this guy. This archer lets loose. The arrow flies straight and true, and it hits that bandit just below the heart, piercing his lung, and there's a gout of blood, and he drops to one knee. This other archer here is going to make a longbow attack also. 13 against this guy, just hits him. Holy crap. Why can't I roll like this when I'm a player? Again, almost a fatal shot. The arrow flies straight and true. This time it goes into the neck of this bandit on the other side. And you see blood start spurting out. And he's trying to hold it and stop the bleeding. That's going to bring us then to Rory. You see these two bandits here have been mauled. And this is definitely a spellcaster. You saw him cast a spell on Dobar,
right.
And he's running off.
Okay. I would 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah, I can get him. The mage.
Okay. So.
Okay. He needs to make a DC 13 Wisdom save.
Okay, Wisdom saving throw. See, now I start rolling low. That's a failure.
Tifas. Right. Now I'm going to roll. He's already taken damage, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a D12.
That's insane. That's really good. I like that.
7 damage.
7. Ooh.
Yeah.
So as you cast. Oh, right, yeah, he's got to make a concentration check. So let's do that.
See?
Do it in Foundry.
Nice.
Oh, that's a failure. Bane ends on Dobar. Doesn't even get to take effect. He's no longer concentrating. He's looking messed up after that Toll the Dead. How do you cast Toll the Dead? What's it look or sound like?
I basically I'm like conjuring I'm like opening a channel to Ithas, and I say, meter out your pain, Lord. And then people with acute hearing can almost hear a bell like tolling, like gong. And then you just see cuts open up on his body, and he starts bleeding.
Rory's a scary man. That's quite intimidating, actually.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else you want to do? Is that your turn?
That's my turn, yeah.
Right. Okay. That brings us to the bandits. Right. These guys are really, really messed up. But they heard the order of the mage, and what's he gonna do? He's not that stupid. This fella over here is gonna attack Dobar with his crossbow, whilst he's holding his neck. So I tell you what, I'm gonna give him disadvantage on the attack because he's trying to hold his crossbow with one hand while stopping the bleeding with the other.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 6 to hit. So as he's swaying, To be fair, my first roll wasn't even any better. So he's swaying, and he pulls the trigger on his crossbow, and it misses by miles and just buries its bolt into the ground by these bodies here. The second bandit is going to attempt to do the same thing. This time, though, it's going to be a straight roll for him. And that is going to be a 15 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
And that's going to be... where are we? That's going to be 8 points of piercing damage.
8. Oh, crikey.
Is that quite a big hit for Dobar at this point?
That's actually quite a big hit, yeah.
Right. So he takes aim at you, and his aim's true, and it hits you in the chest. The bolt goes in quite deeply, almost piercing a lung. It's hit your massive petrol. So that'll bring us back to the top of the round. Oh, actually, should I move? Yeah, these guys are they're getting fucked up, so he's gonna run around this hilly area here, so he's out of sight. He's not so lucky. 5, 10, 15. I'm gonna say he's at about half speed as well, with the amount of bleeding that he's doing. That'll bring us back to the top of the round. So Dobar, you're up.
Okay. I almost get sidetracked, pushed to the side with the force of the crossbow bolt, slamming into my chest. But I've clearly got my eyesight on the mage, so I move very swiftly, keep running. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Your sword is still sticking out of him.
And as I'm running, is he facing away from me, or is he facing towards me?
He was on the move, so I'd say he'd be facing away from you. But you've got, you could easily swing him around.
Okay. I'm doing this for more dramatic effect. I grab hold of him, spin him round, and then I just kick the sword that's sticking into his chest further into him if I can.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
boot the
pretty
pommel into him.
Okay, right. So this won't be an attack with your sword, but the damage will come from your sword, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So this would be like an unarmed strike. So if you roll an unarmed strike, but the damage will come from your sword if you hit.
If I let's see.
Yeah, you do hit.
Natural 20.
Holy crap! Right, okay.
5%
This isn't
chance.
right. Yeah, roll some damage. It will be versatile damage, so you're definitely doing this like it's a two-handed strike because you're putting all that power behind it with your kick, and it's a crit.
As a critical. 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage. How would you like to absolutely eviscerate this Druss? He had 4 hit points left.
So I boot the pommel of the long sword, which just slams right through him, and the rest of the blade goes all the way to him, right through him. I don't even there's no grace whatsoever behind this, and as he's as I push, as he falls down, I just grab the handle of the blade and just rip it back out of him.
Oh, excellent! He just goes down in a gory mess. Right, Dobar's got the first kill there. I'd say
and
that was
as I pull the sword out, I just swing the sword towards the nearest bandit.
right. This guy's the nearest, but from where you are, you should be able. Yeah, you can see that guy. So it's up to you. Which one you're doing it?
Did he?
This guy here,
Oh,
behind the hill.
Right, okay, so make an intimidation check, and you can use your strength for the modifier of this.
So it's going to be a +3 instead of a... I'll roll on here. Oh yeah, I can do that. So...
Yeah, it'd be a +3, so
Let's
something
see
with
if
a
that
plus.
works. 11.
+1, +2. Alright, yeah, okay, 11. This guy's pretty fucked up anyway, so it wouldn't be very hard to intimidate him. And he's just literally seeing you take his boss down with a kick, basically kicking your sword through his chest, and then just pull this gory mess out, and you just turn around and look at him. Yeah, he's shit scared. I'm gonna give him disadvantage on any attacks that he's doing if it's against you. Right, okay, so that is right. We're to the guards again.
Oh,
There's
do
something
I
else
have
you want
a
to do?
bonus action? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I still
you
have my
can-
bonus action?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rage.
Oh right, okay. What's Dobar look like when he goes into a rage?
No different.
Absolutely no
Exactly
different.
the same.
He's like Dr. Banner. He's angry all the time. He just lets it out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that'll bring us to the guards. This one here is gonna take a shot at that one there. Longbow again. Yeah, that's gonna hit. And with the singular hit point that thing has got left, it's down. This other guard here is, you can't see from there, so it's gonna have to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's uphill. Yeah, she still can't get a shot on him. But she's trying to position herself in such a way where she might be able to get a shot on him if he runs out. So she's going to ready an action in case that bandit moves, and her action is going to be if that bandit comes out in that direction, she's going to shoot him. So Rory, you would be able to look across behind the horses, and you can see her. She's ready to bow. She's actually drawn it, and she's ready to loose, but she's holding it. That'll bring us to Rory.
Just checking the range on things. Okay. I'm within range. So I'll stay where I am, but then I'll win at this guy. And I hold my hands open and say, if that's channel your pain, and I cast Toll the Dead on him.
Okay. So what was that saving throw? Was it wisdom?
Yeah,
Was it?
wisdom.
Oh, yeah. He's excellent at wisdom, being a bandit. Yeah, absolutely excellent at wisdom. He got a natural 1, and with a +0.
Right, I'll roll a d12. 10.
Yeah, he's dead. He had 1 hit point left as well. So,
Overkill.
but not charmed. There we go, dead. Yeah, overkill. So, what's it look like when Rory does Toll of the Dead? Basically, overkill this time.
Oh, it's death by 1,000 cuts, and loads of little cuts that appear all over his body, and he just keels over. The bell tolling in the air. Dong.
Excellent. So you're right. Okay, so you've cleared up, and let me just stop that music because you don't need it now. And John looks over and he's like, well, that was unexpected. But over quickly, thank the gods.
Thank Ithas.
Indeed, you are a mighty priest.
I look at both of them and go, thank the blade, and just wipe the blood off on the grass underneath.
I look at his wounds. Can I cast Cure Wounds on him?
Yeah, let's go.
I say, with permission.
I kind of like, almost like flinch back when you hold your hand out to cast it, but I don't stop you doing it.
Okay, I utter, if that's to take away this man's suffering, and I place my hand on his chest, and I cast Cure Wounds on him. 11 hit points.
Nice. Back up
I
to
guess
full.
you're all the way back up, doesn't it?
Yeah. I kind of look down at the wound as it heals up, and you kind of like see like not surprise, yeah, like a shock.
I say to him, Ithas can meter out pain as well as take it away.
And I look at the two bandits and I reply, I see, and like nod at you. And then I point at the mangled body of the mage, and like to again point my long sword at him with just one hand at the end, almost like a display of strength as well, holding the blade out at such a distance. And I say, I can handle that pain as well.
Indeed you can, my friend. Should we check his body?
And I say, I'll leave that for you. Mere trinkets
Right.
he'll be holding.
Can I have a look at his body?
Absolutely. Make an investigation check.
Okay. Ten.
10. Okay. So there are a few things about him that you can pick up quite easily. As you look at his body, let me see if I can find. So we got this.
I'll move over to him.
Oh no, did I put it in? Come out, put it out. Oh no, I think I actually forgot something. I think I actually forgot to put something in the campaign thing. It's not there. Oh yeah, there we go. Found it. You, as you examine the body, you see tattooed on this lizard's arm a strange symbol.
What does it look like?
I brought it up in Foundry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, like an hourglass.
Mm.
Can I do a religion check to see if I've seen this before?
Yeah.
Okay. I cast guidance on me. I say, Ithas, help me with your wisdom.
Is it quite clear that he's spending a lot of time over this body?
It says so at this point, yeah.
Okay.
10.
10. Right.
Yeah.
Let me just resolve this roll. Right. So you look at it. It does. You don't recognise it. This is something you've never seen before. But from studying religion, it does have some sort of religious symbolism to it. You can kind of guess that it is some sort of mark to do with some sort of religion, but you can't.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is.
I say it's a
You,
symbol of a cult. I don't know what it is though.
as you're investigating, you notice that I'm kind of stood over you, looking, like more like curious about like what you're doing, and I clearly see the symbol. Do I recognise it?
You give me a history check.
Okay. I'm just thinking, mate, I might have seen this before.
With a 3,
No.
no.
Nope.
To be fair, there was an outside possibility. If you'd have rolled quite high, then I would have give you something, but no.
Yeah.
I
was really hoping that I'd got it, and then I'd like you're the like Rick, just like trying to figure out what it is, and I just like point at it and just go, "Oh yeah, it's this," and then just walk off.
Does he have anything on his body? Like papers or
yes, he does. So,
property?
as you go through it, you find a pendant styled to like a bridge with a tower in the center.
Okay.
He is also carrying a potion of healing, a potion of greater healing, and a bag that seems to give off a magical aura.
In a bag.
Yeah. He's also carrying 17 pieces of copper.
Okay. What would be the normal thing to do with this? Would it be shared with John?
No, the standing rule on the caravan is if you're attacked and you defend the caravan, it's finders keepers on the loot.
Okay. So I would know that, but
Yeah, it's kind of
I
like
would
a
say
combat bonus.
right. I say to um, barbarian friend here, Dobar. I say, this is your kill. You have first dibs on this.
I look at the at the spoils, and I grab the Is it just coppers he's got?
17 coppers, yeah.
Yeah. I grab the coppers.
You don't want the other things.
No.
Okay, I'll take the other things then. I'm curious about this bag.
Just dismiss them.
Can I open the bag and have a look?
Yeah. So you open the bag, you have a look in there. It appears to be empty.
Okay.
Put your hand in it.
No.
See what happens.
It bites your arm off.
Could be a bag of devouring. Yeah.
Game over.
I'll keep the bag safe until I can get it identified, I think.
Okay.
Could I? I don't know if I could do an Arcana check on it.
You could do. I mean, yeah, your magic's divine, but you do know about magical items, so yeah, I'd let you do it.
I cast guidance on myself in an attempt to try and see what the nature of the magic is behind the bag. Then I cast. Well, I'll do an Arcana check. It's not a very good roll.
What is it?
7.
7. Yeah, the bag's magical.
Definitely magical, I say.
With confidence.
Is it like a handbag? Is it like a handbag or a satchel?
It's a satchel type bag.
Okay.
I'd say it'd be just about big enough to get a head in it.
Right.
That sort of opening size.
Yeah. I don't know if Rory would have a hunch. Probably not with that roll. I was wondering if he could pick up a rock and put it in it.
He could do. I mean, you know the bag's magical. You just don't know what it is.
All right. I'll pick up a heavy rock and I'll put it in the bag.
Okay. Yeah, you spend a minute or so looking for a decent sized heavy rock. You put it in the bag. Did you put it in the bag?
Happens?
It disappears.
Disappears.
Yeah, the bag doesn't get any heavier either.
Can I attempt to retrieve the rock?
Put your hand in the bag. You think about this rock and you pull it out.
Oh shit! We appear to have a bag of holding. Until we know otherwise, though, I would refrain from putting your valuables in. Okay, so we've got a suspect bag of holding potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Until we identify it. Cool. Could become very useful. All right. Should we check the other two before we get going again with the wagon?
Make an investigation check if you're both doing it. One of you do it with advantage, just to save time.
Okay. Let you do that.
Okay. I've still got guidance on me. 19.
19. Okay, that's quite a decent amount. These other two, between them, are carrying 2 more potions of healing. 14 silver pieces and 10 copper pieces. They do have weapons. They're just standard scimitars and light crossbows.
What did you say about this silver?
Excuse me. 14 silver.
14 silver. And how many coppers?
10.
10. And that's between them?
Yeah.
And they have 2 light crossbows?
Yeah, 2 light crossbows, 2 scimitars. I'd say the armor's pretty fucked up at this point.
Yeah. I'll take one of the crossbows.
Take a look at the... Yeah, me too.
Okay, so you can add a light crossbow to your inventory.
Right.
Both of you.
Okay.
I'm writing this all down and then I'll update my inventory.
That's absolutely fine. However you want to do it.
Yeah.
I've done it via Foundry.
I just opened up add items and the first thing that loads up is antimatter rifle.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Do they have bolts?
Yeah, actually. What was your role for that investigation?
19.
It was 19, yeah. I'd say between the two of them, you can recover. I'd say 20 bolts. You could take 10 each.
Okay.
10 each. You happy with that?
Yep. Bolts.
Take 10.
They don't appear to have normal crossbow bolts. Just have crossbow bolts walloping.
Walloping.
They should be in there somewhere on D&D Beyond. Have a quick look.
It's under. Let me try bolt.
Yeah, if you just type bolt.
Yeah, it's just normal. Normal, yeah. I'll add 10. I'll just deduct.
Yeah, I think they come in packs of 20, so you get 20
They
and
do.
then just take 10 away.
Yeah, I've done that. So, wow, we got 3 potions of healing and a potion of greater healing. Okay. We should save those for a rainy day. Okay.
Right.
There's nothing else about the bodies. Did they have the same tattoo?
No, only the mage has a tattoo.
Okay.
And he had the mage had that pendant too. Right. So skirmish over. You get back on the road. I'm going to speed it up a little bit now, because this has gone really quite long. Wasn't expecting that, but so the caravan from here continues. Let me bring up the world map for you. So the caravan from here, it continues all the way to Grassbreak, which is there, where you the horses are stabled, and the wagons are kept here, and all the cargo is loaded onto a ship. The ship in the harbour that everything's been loaded onto is of elven origin, and it's called the Pride of Allura. It's explained to you that it's calling at all the coastal cities, and it's going this way around Avalon towards Rara Allura. The captain of the ship is Captain Aaron Starfrost. Sorry, he is a sea elf. He looks quite well. All elves look quite young, so he looks like he's in his 20s. He's got blue skin. He's very well dressed. Wears a green cloak all the time, and he's very proud of his ship. The other main sort of person you'd have contact with on the ship is the first mate, who just goes by Ivan, and he's an older gentleman, human, in his early 60s, bit shabby, long white beard, kind of piratey looking. You get on board the ship, and it takes another 20 days of sailing to get all the way around Avalon and do the port calls. When you finally arrive in, if there's something you want to do on the ship, stop me.
Okay.
But I am just trying to wrap this up.
Okay.
So, you go 20 days of sailing all the way around. You finally arrive at Ra Allura. On I think it's the 6th of Lightbringing. So that's the actual date on the calendar. 1172. Where it will be spending 24 hours in the harbour before continuing on. Ra Alora it's a beautiful elven city. I'll bring up I've got a picture for you. The port and the harbour is actually on a river. It's the city's very close to the coast, but not quite on the coast. So there's a river that leads into the city, and it's classically elven, So, as you can see in the picture there's gardens and everything that are interwoven with the buildings, and there's trees, and they try to keep it look as natural as possible. You spend the night in the city. You can explore the city if you want, or over that sort of period. But when it comes to the morning after, let's say you spend the night on the ship. So you wake up in the morning, go about making yourselves busy on the ship, helping out, especially making sure that any new cargo is being loaded up for your caravan, and anything that was being traded has been offloaded. And we'll end the session as you see two elves walking up the gangplank to the ship. One of them, and both female. One of them looks quite dour with long dark hair, who is, for those of you that might be experienced with elves, is very definitely a wood elf. The other one is, in stark contrast, very bubbly, and has a wild crop of curly ginger hair and very long ears, even for an elf. And as they get onto the deck, you see that the one with the ginger hair has got some sort of little creature roaming around in it. And that is where we'll end it. I'm sorry to really rush it at the end, but it's getting towards midnight. So,
yeah. I think that was really good. But yeah, like good point to. I've noticed that once like it gets to midnight, like everyone, including myself, even when I'm like doing games, everyone just starts to shut off.